Well, next up is Michael Hudson from Bitstocks. Please give him a hand.
Right, good evening everyone. Slides are a bit small, but there's only a few. So, quick introduction to myself. I am the CEO and founder of a company called Bitstocks. We incorporated back in April 2014, so relatively early to the space. In fact, so early to the space that I remember a time when Bitcoin transactions didn't have any fees. And all of our transactions that we've done literally had 0 fees. When we incorporated, it was predominantly to provide education to the space. We are an investment house. We saw a big hole in the market that people wanted to get involved in cryptocurrencies, but they didn't necessarily understand what this technology was all about, why people were saying that this is going to change the world. So we wanted to assist that. We wanted to help people really understand in a non-geeky way as to what cryptocurrencies was really all about and what underpins and underlines this movement. So there are a couple of technologies that we feel now are incredibly important, which are completely and utterly reshaping our society. By a show of hands, who in this room can actually remember Cryptartica? Really? That was our Google before Google, right? Now, before the internet age, it was incredibly easy for the narrative of how we consumed our information to be controlled. When I was doing my homework, Cryptartica genuinely was my Google. When I wanted to study history, I was being gifted books by my history teachers. And I questioned the integrity of those books, not because I was some young genius, it was because I had conflicts in the playground. And when I had those conflicts in the playground, and I would go home, and my dad would sit me down, give me the eyes, and ask me, what happened? If I was the antagonist, I assure you I would change history. So I thought as a kid, at the highest levels, with the greatest, deepest level of consequences, surely there must be change in history. So how much do we really know about human history? Is this genuine history, or is this his story? The internet changed this. The internet disseminated these hierarchical organizations and allowed us to communicate on a peer-to-peer basis. Because we really look at what education actually is. Education is gleaning information from other human beings and encapsulating that information into one being. That is how we get smarter. The internet shrunk the world. The internet allowed us to completely circumvent the public narrative and go to the people who may have been witness to some of these events. 9/11, Las Vegas shootings, whether you like it or not, what happened in America with President Trump. We can now completely circumvent mainstream media and connect directly on a peer-to-peer basis. The world has completely and utterly changed because of this technology. It is the first ring system of humanity. It is the first ring system that affords us sovereignty, and that is sovereignty of information. Now, as amazing as the internet is, it really actually hasn't been all things to all people. Because irrespective of having the ability to set up a website, we don't need permissions in order to do that. We can't freely trade. The reason why we cannot freely trade is because even if you can set up a website, and even if you deliver a product in digital form, you cannot easily send and receive value as you do by setting up a website. So the internet isn't really completed because it is very much limited by birth advantage. Of the 7.5 billion people on this planet, circa 5 billion of us are ultimately, from a financial standpoint, in the same category as terrorists. They do not have the ability to trade directly, so they are disconnected, they are cut off. This is what the cryptocurrency movement is predominantly all about. And we've seen how the traditional financial system has serviced us doing commerce on the internet. And it just creates a huge bottleneck effect because we require permission. And when I'm talking about permission, I'm talking about permission from these providers such as PayPal and WorldPay. who will determine your fee based on your risk profile as a business. They want to know the nature of your business, what products or services it is that you offer. Then naturally want to know who it is that you offer them to. And if you do actually get granted that permission, you then have to factor in for every 1 in 100 transactions, you will be subject to a chargeback. If it's 2 or 3 in 100 transactions, you potentially may even have your account revoked. So this creates a massive, massive bottleneck, much like this thing. So it doesn't matter how amazing a company you are, you're only limited to serve those who have modern forms of banking. This completely stifles the economic reach of internet commerce today. So this bottle, this upside down bottle, the body of the bottle symbolizes the internet. And inside this bottle you have the companies that are trying to glean the freedom that the internet has to afford. And the funnel is the restrictive process imposed on internet commerce by these merchant service providers. It is a massive bottleneck effect. Brilliant. Now, Milton Friedman, who was an economist, very accurately in 1999 predicted that out of the internet, the one thing that is still missing is reliable e-cash. A method whereby the internet, you can transfer funds from A to B without A knowing B or B knowing A. So Milton Friedman accurately predicted in 1999 that from the internet we will have this black swan moment. And we will be able to simulate a cash transaction. In layman's terms, what he's talking about is, every now and again, if you walk out of, say, your local bank branch, local Tesco's Metro, there might be a homeless person sitting outside with a sign in the cup. If you take a £5 note out of your pocket and you deposit it into that homeless person's cup, what you have done is a completely anonymous transaction. He doesn't know who you are. You do not know who that individual is, but yet you have transferred value. What Milton Friedman accurately predicted is that via the internet we will have this black swan moment where if that person is directly in your person, or if that person's in Singapore, that person's in India, or that person's in China, you can simulate that type of transaction with no mediator. A bank was not involved in that transaction. PayPal was not involved in that transaction. A nation state, at least directly, was not involved in that transaction. That is the promise that cryptocurrencies afford us. Completely digital cash. Now, what you see here are the underlying protocols which completely and utterly change the world. Now, from an investment standpoint, a lot of investors feel very disgruntled by the internet. A lot of investors will say that back in the dot-com boom and bust, that they lost money investing in the internet. Well, that wasn't really technically true. You didn't lose money investing in the internet, you lost money investing in companies who are utilizing these protocols to build different forms of service, products and services. Okay? What Bitcoin introduced to the world for the first time ever is that money can now be a protocol. It completes the internet. It is literally the second ring system of sovereignty. In Bitcoin, as long as you can trust 1 + 1 = 2, you can trust the system. And by default, the byproduct of that, financial neutrality, is permissionless, is borderless, and the most important byproduct of this system is instantaneous sovereignty. What you own is what you own. I assure you, this changes human behavior. In the same way that the internet has changed human behavior, this is the missing piece that completely now mobilizes and utterly changes human behavior. That's good or bad? Yeah, it's good. Thank you.